Thank you for staying with us. The scuffle between the federal government and Twitter over the tweet by President Muhammadu Buhari culminated in the suspension of operations of the microblogging site in Nigeria on the 5th of June 2021. 7 months after, the federal government has lifted the suspension following approval by President Buhari. According to the chairman of the Technical Committee on Nigeria Twitter Engagement and Director General of the National Information Development Agency, Kashifu Abdullahi, lifting of the suspension takes effect from midnight, 13th of January. Cyril Abaku, Amnesty International described this as a violation of human rights of Nigerians. It's that in spite of the fact that they are still maintaining it, and the federal government is saying that, look, it's an attempt to actually to sanitize the relationship. Yes, because as a point in time, the federal government accused Twitter of allowing that medium to be used in subverting the security of Nigeria, so to say.
The difference, what the federal government didn't do right, is very clear for everyone to see. When the president tweeted that very bad tweet, tweeted in bad faith, somebody reported it.
No, they will be dealt in the language they understand.
No. Yeah. No, of course. I mean, talking about the civil war and so on. Nobody in the federal government sat down to say, how do we deal with this? There are community rules on Twitter. Sorry, Ayo, just let me come by my own self, you know. Okay. When IPOB, because what the Minister of Information said was that IPOB had said on Twitter and that nobody did anything. How does the federal government not understand that there are community rules and that if you report a tweet to Twitter, they will take action? That was what happened when the president tweeted that. Twitter could have also looked away. Somebody made the report and said, this tweet is something that has been sent out in bad faith, and Twitter acted. That's what happened. The narrative we are seeing today is to assume that Twitter broke some Nigerian laws and that they were taken to court and that they've been made to account for what they did wrong. That's not what happened. What happened is something that we wish didn't happen in the first place. Is what we can be proud to teach our children, that there was presidential malefaction, that our president took to Twitter to threaten a section of this country, and that on account of that, Twitter acted by deleting the tweet in public interest. That's what happened. What has changed to today is, if Nigeria does not know, people didn't leave Twitter. Go and check. They were using what did they call it? VPN. People didn't leave Twitter. What happened was that there was revenue loss, there were job losses accompanied by the pandemic and other things, and that the federal government now has to be taking taxes from Twitter. That is what has fundamentally changed. For me, it comes like a propaganda coup, which worked very well, because the narrative now is about the gains. Let me tell you something, Ayo. Until the ban happened, people who have digital marketing jobs were making money off Twitter, right? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. We have said it that the wealth of the nations, as envisaged by all the economic philosophers, is that there is more money in the pockets of the people, not in the covers of government. So our attempt to take taxes now is to say that, why are people just making money off this platform? Government now also wants to have a share. And in a case where you have both the yam and the knife, what do you expect us to do? The government has just done its own thing by itself.
I like to deviate from what's the point of view of Cyril a little bit. Yesterday, when I read the gains of this face-off, that yes, the gains at the end of the day might have outweighed the disadvantage. Like they set up a committee and they were able to make sure that Twitter regularizes their listing here, they register a company here, they are going to be paying tax, several other advantages at the end of the day, that revenue generation from Twitter at the end of the day, that there's going to be smooth and coordinated relationship between Nigerian government and Twitter, reduction of cyber criminal activities. And when the federal government was pushing this out, Twitter did not come out to contradict what we have on ground. And this, I would say, it's a win for the federal government. Gains on Twitter ban.
Well, I don't know what we have gained. I believe we lost a lot.
So this, what's the
actions of the federal government truly embarrassed Nigeria. Just take it that way. You are trying to just save face. You can say whatever. You expect Twitter to be arguing with a sovereign nation like Nigeria. It's just a small company that is making money and advancing the cause of freedom of speech and all that worldwide. So this issue about the Tito didn't contradict, I don't see it as anything. Let me tell you, this matter could have been better handled. If you see any little thing that Twitter did that you didn't like, you can handle it in a better way. Everything was done in a way that embarrassed Nigeria. Number one, it portrays us as a nation where there is no respect for freedom of speech. Two, it portrayed the administration as a government that is intolerant of issues, So, whether they like it or not, these were the things that happened. Look at what happened. Twitter, even in the United States, the almighty United States, the president there, then President Trump, when Twitter found out that did it, what happened? Apart from warning, they deleted his account. You get my point? Heavens didn't fall. Now you just remove the post, and some people want to have malaria over that. So you see what has happened could have been better handled. Oh, they will pay tax, they will pay this, they will open up this, they will comply with our laws. Believe me, all through the period, how many people complied with the so-called suspension? Nigerians were still, And when you are talking about Twitter, Twitter is not the most popular social media in Nigeria. So if you think it will reduce
are you discounting these gains that you can read on paper?
You can say whatever gains of what in the country that we lost billions.
How can you say they are empty? Look at Twitter has agreed to enroll Nigeria in its partner support and law enforcement portal, and has agreed with respectful and not acknowledgement of Nigerian laws, culture, and history.
It is called rhetoric. It is called rhetoric. Let me ask you, Ayo, in Nigeria, what common
illegal entity in Nigeria during the first quarter of 2022, Twitter will come and register here and agree to appoint a designated
Was Twitter doing business in Nigeria? Nigerians, Twitter just has a space for Nigerians to communicate. Nigerians are the ones communicating among themselves. What are you talking?
As simple as that.
So, and there are rules of engagement. If you go up the line,
somebody from us, they wouldn't have gone to the negotiating board to negotiate with us and abide with all.
How many Twitter officials came to Nigeria to negotiate?
Ongoing economic training opportunities as the company continues to consider expanding its presence in Nigeria. What does that mean?
See, how many Twitter officials came to Nigeria to beg and negotiate? Who are the ones traveling? Please, in this season of propaganda, we need to wake up. Things are not right, and we need to speak up.
Ayo,
Twitter is not the biggest of our problems. There are so many things we need to do. When we are not the only country. Of course, there may be infractions here and there about Twitter. You can handle these things even without, making a lot of noise. You can do it behind the scene. You get my point? But the whole government of Nigeria is not a small country. Nigeria is a big country.
We have our first caller. Saliu is calling us from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Saliu.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Saliu.
God bless all the journalists Hangout team. I appreciate your work, Babajide and everybody. Thank you very much. My point is that I support the federal government for banning them. At least they achieved something. You can see what is lying out. Even the president, when Mr. Yusuf was saying that they brought down the Twitter in US, the former then president happened did not fall. He regretted not bringing them down while he has the power to bring them down. Bringing them down is not bringing them down to kill our business or to deny people human rights. You cannot have a double standard. You cannot look at the country and say you don't know who is tweeting. You don't know from where he's tweeting. What we are saying is that respect our law, respect what will not bring chaos. We are managing situations. Don't bring problem to us. We have problems already that we are managing. The NSAS issue, if they did not magnify it, beyond the way it is, or you do. There are things that can be best managed. I agree with you, but in the best of the interest of the state, you don't have headquarters in Nigeria. You have it in Ghana. They call it Nigeria Twitter in Ghana. They don't pay tax in Nigeria. You don't employ anybody in Nigeria, and you want us to still abide by what you want. Our president is, even if I am the president, I'll bring them down until they have that office in Nigeria. They do all what is the best interest of the Nigeria.
Thank you for your contribution. You will discover that, look, a lot of Nigerians, even the House of Representatives, the National Assembly, they backed the federal government up on this. Nigerians are saying no, that you can't come and ride roughshod over us just because people will use your medium to incite people against the people of Nigeria. And look, a lot of people are saying that kudos to the federal government on this, that look, they might not agree with this government entirely, but on this Twitter ban, that they agree with the federal government of Nigeria.
I am a trained student of journalism. I understand the impact of putting power in the hands of people who are not trained to understand its implications. So if it's only about people who are, sometimes somebody can put something false on social media. It could be Facebook, it could be anywhere. And then there was a particular national deal in Nigeria where they sacked everybody and said, how come our rival has this story and we don't have it? And it turned out that the rival was publishing something that was not even true. So we understand that one. But the Twitter story goes beyond. I mean, read the federal government statement. What they have done right now is to say that they have made Twitter an appendage of either the Ministry of Digital Communication or Ministry of Information and Culture. Twitter cannot shake, cannot breathe, cannot stand, cannot sit except the federal government tells it to do so. Read the statement. Read it again.
What do you think Twitter would not agree to that kind of thing?
No. What?
What do you think Twitter would not agree?
You've already agreed with you now. Do they have a choice? They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. There's nothing they can do about it.
And what does Twitter benefit from standing in antagonism with a sovereign state like Nigeria?
Exactly.
Must you say everything?
Exactly.
You get my point? This is a country that was losing over 100 million every hour because of Twitter suspension. And how many months are we talking about? You need to count it. You are saying you are gaining because of tax. Which tax? How many Nigerian companies are even paying tax? We are talking about. Please, we need to. There's a lot we need to do. We can do things and portray our country the way we want. This one on this one. Have you taken time to?
Sometimes it's even good for us to just stand behind the federal government for patriotism's sake.
That's for propaganda's sake. I wouldn't stand with propaganda. Say you will see what happened. Did you follow the people's reaction, the public reaction on news about this matter? No. Did you see? Do you know that many people are now complaining that just within less than 24 hours, if you're on Twitter, you now have you see many new accounts without one single follower, following people, especially people who are active users, popular, names on. People are now complaining, and in communications, they call it COP or whatever. That is a propaganda too.
Let me even tell you something.
Okay, I have a caller. Yeah. Ibrahim is calling us from Kaduna State.
Hello, good evening, good evening, sir. Good evening to all your two guests.
Good evening, Ibrahim.
Yes, Ibrahim from Kaduna. Yes.
All right.
This is my first time for contributing in this new year.
You're welcome, Ibrahim.
2022 will be a good year for every one of us in Nigeria and the world at large.
Amen.
Now, the issue of Twitter listing, this is a very good moment for all Twitter followers, including myself. But one thing that is sure that we need to commend this government is this. They are coming out boldly, and they all have the support both of the executive, legislative, and the judiciary and all Nigerians. This is the direction to go, because anybody, anything, any other external body will come to our country and just come and mess up here because this is the platform. Now, I stand by the government of the day for you, finally, to make sure that these people come to the Daniel, and they have come to that. Now, other sister agencies like Twitter also should also learn from what just happened to them. Why would they? That does not stop what Twitter has been doing or any other illegal or false information given out to the public. But this is a way for us to go. I really applaud the government. Now we are the new. My advice to all Nigerians use Twitter now is this: please let us use Twitter judiciously. Let us use it wisely and do what is right to set our country, don't bring our country down.
Thank you.
Is enough for
Thank you, Brian.
Negativity, and may God deliver us. Thank you very much for giving me the platform to share my voice. Bye.
This is my second caller now. You can feel the pulse of Nigerians.
Sorry.
You can feel the pulse. They're calling.
See, Ayo, if I was casting a headline, I wouldn't call it gains. Those are terms. And not all terms are fair to all parties. It's not gains. Those are just terms by which business should not be resuming. They are not gains. Let me read this to you. Twitter has agreed to enroll Nigeria in its partner support and law enforcement portals. The partner support portal provides a direct channel for government officials and Twitter staff to manage prohibited content that violates Twitter community rules, not Nigerian laws. Because ostensibly, the way those laws will apply to Nigeria will now differ significantly. It means that, I mean, except I'm not reading it well. It means that Nigerian government officials and Twitter can now sit down and say this tweet violates the law of respectability in the Southwest. Please delete it. That tweet by Lagbaja violates the. So it means that government now has the right to enter in and determine what is right from what is wrong. Meanwhile, the republic is built on the fundamental ethos of the people's right to express their views in the best way they know to do. There are ways of addressing people who are going out of line. And in this case, Twitter already had all the laws that could have addressed malefaction. For example, you tweet a wrong tweet, you are reported. I do not for one suppose that Twitter's whole body of laws and terms and conditions does not include cultural sensitivity. If you will tell me that, I will say that you're not saying the truth. For me, like I said, it's not win-win. What does that mean? That this big tech has been successfully cowed and has covered, and going forward, the government decides what you tweet.
I don't really at the point in time, I stopped even going on, on that site, because I discovered that the way Nigerians come, the sentiment, the half information, the propaganda, and everything, and it's enough for to cause a kind of civil unrest before that NSAS protest. And now the federal government has said, look, we are going to sanitize your operations, and we're going to make sure that this platform is not used as hijacked as a tool to cause unrest within the country again. I think for me that is something that, yes, is a win for the country.
It's a win for the country, but take it that it's not only ordinary folks that can abuse freedom of speech. In this case, it was the president himself that was accused of writing something some people found to be offensive. Why are people not talking about that? So it can happen through any. You get my point? From the government, it can happen. From ordinary folks, it can happen. But this one, they were happy to tell us what happened during airport, what happened during NSAS. But this one, it was the president of Nigeria. So when you are saying it's a win-win thing, if we all agree to rules of decency, of course there won't be all this. You get my point?
Of course.
See, worldwide, if you look at issues around social media, not just Twitter, to reform or not to reform, to ban or not to ban, there are several models, several theories, several approaches, for some of the governments that have done it. What I've seen so far, we are only talking about Twitter. In Nigeria, social media, Twitter is not the biggest. We have WhatsApp. That's the biggest in our country. And why are people so obsessed about Twitter? People are doing a lot through social media, like WhatsApp, Yahoo Messenger, Facebook. More Nigerians use this than even Twitter.
Exactly.
You get my point?
Exactly.
So I don't know why the obsession.
Do you think
we must take it that the government and the people, anybody can, make
Okay, let me take Bayo. Bayo is calling us from Ilorin, that's Kwara State.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes,
Good afternoon,
Bayo,
sir.
go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you so much. My contribution is this. No matter what you do, Twitter is not losing any money. Government of Nigeria is trying to gain a lot of brand. Remember, everything when it comes to politicians is politics. We're just being a sucker to it. Everything is going to be used no matter what you do. They're going to give you guys a topic to talk about. I appreciate you. You guys are doing a lot of work. And Mr. Ayo, you talk a lot about patriotism. Go up to the top level. How many times the president talk? How many flags does he have behind him? How many times we hear the president himself, like you always say, God bless Nigeria? What about our troops? The people getting killed every day. May God bless our troops. Nobody, I never hear it. No governor. Only when they realize they captured this, they captured that, they know, oh, the military are doing the military that. Every day is Sheila being said. That's patriotism. Encourage your troops. Love them a lot. We're talking about stupid Twitter. Believe you me, no matter what they lose in Nigeria, the U.S. government is giving them money anyway, giving tax. They're not losing anything.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you. So, Kosino, do you think the freedom of information, freedom of the press, freedom of association is being impugned by this government in any way?
Oh, Ayo, a whole lot. Have you forgotten that Punch decided to start calling Mr. President a Major General, and they have not stopped doing so? Because of
his administration, they tagged it as a regime.
Yes, because of his. And many people don't know. I was in SS1 government when they taught us that there's a difference between a regime and an administration. They are two different things. His own is a regime, and it is bad. What must happen? Like I told you, I'm a student of journalism. The debate on press freedom and whatever it is will not end. But that we will not look for an internal way of dealing with our own issues. What we want to do is to pick up the sledgehammer against an ant. Is unbecoming of
people criticize government every day. All the mediums, news outlets, and everything, and we've not have. Government cannot stop people from expressing their views.
No, so I think at this point we have to say that this government has found a way of developing some kind of thick skin that makes it get away with things without consequence. That is why it has remained this way. That is why it has remained this way. It may take Nigeria some time to come out of this lethargy, or what somebody called psychosis. Sort of getting, fella said suffering and smiling. This sort of, we just keep, as far as the next meal comes, as far as the next day breaks, we just keep but I believe that if things will be gotten right with time, Twitter was even on that path, in the manner of speaking. People were becoming a lot more conscious of things that were happening. Something happened in Enugu, before you know, people in Lagos are aware of it. That is the power of media. So how can we become a people that are more media conscious, more willing to consume information, but also have the ability to be responsible? I do not think that this part will make us responsible. This part will make us cow before government. So what we need to fight for, or what we need to work towards, is how can we become responsible users of social media and not intimidated users of social media.
The last final submission on this?
Well, I just want Nigerians to know that whatever the government says, whatever Twitter says, we should be responsible in the way we use social media. Many of the things that we do, maybe by our laws or by our customs, we believe are indecent, they are illegal, they are whatever. If you go on social media and do the same thing, they are also illegal, they are also immoral. So we just try to work, we don't have another country. This is the only country we have, and we should try and make it work.
All right.